Welcome, everybody. It's another day. We are excited to be here. Today, we have Adam Barnhardt and Charlie Stickney. Welcome, Adam. How are you doing today?
Amazing, man. I'm just wowed by like the intro and the music. Like I was dancing to the music. I'm sorry if you guys saw that.
Yeah, it's
no,
all
that's
good,
good,
man.
man.
We can put it back on if you want.
No, I'm good.
No,
I'm
I
good
say
with
that
whatever.
every time, no matter how many times we do that, every time I'm like, I'm really glad that the camera is not watching me because I'm like off in my own world.
Right. And Charlie, welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, and I agree with Adam. You're watching the intro. I'm glad I have a cup of coffee because, like, if that intro doesn't make you want to go get some coffee and some Scout comics, I don't know if you're not alive. It's invigorating right to the soul. So yeah, I am psyched to be here. Have some coffee, talk some Scout.
Yeah, and that's such a cool thing. Coffee on Comics is definitely a really awesome idea. When I was speaking with James about it, I was really impressed because I was like, well, what is this about? They actually print comic books right on the packaging, and they have some amazing stuff over there. And they actually have a full service coffee shop mini bar there in the HQ that is serves daily, which is really, really cool.
Yes, even nitro coffee, which that in itself is
Right.
super exciting. And no, yeah, I loved that idea of coffee on comics. That in itself, or comics on coffee, is outstanding.
Well, I think the goal is to make HQ be a destination place. So if you're in Fort Myers and you want to check it out, you can come in and those are our corporate headquarters. But we want a place that's accessible to the fans, where they can come in, where we can have creator signings and just create a great Scout experience. And the slogan that we have is "Adventure starts here." Adventure starts there. It's got everything. Like if you've seen some of the photos, hey Mike, if you've seen some of the photos that we've been showing from the new HQ, it's just a gorgeous looking place, and they did a great job designing it and making it the perfect destination spot for the Scout fan.
No,
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yes, and even reading, posting some of the videos on social media and reading some of the comments, like people who are out in Germany, they're like, "I'm so excited to visit the shop," and I was like, "Whoa, come on down, my friend!" And even the introduction that I think having this headquarters has brought into new Scout readers has been really neat to see. Of like, hey, this is my first time hearing about Scout, and I'm so excited to check out this location and read everything that they've had, which has been really cool to see.
Yeah. And I also think it's great for creators. I mean, I know as someone who also has a title at Scout, because pretty much all of us who are part of the company are also creators. It gives you a sense of pride, and it makes it's something that you can point to, and honestly, you don't see, like, there is no I don't want to badmouth other publishers, but like that kind of destination spot for a publisher that a creator can say, hey, look, you can get my books everywhere, but we also have this really cool headquarters. I can do signings there. It feels impressive, and I know personally, I'm really looking forward to at some point going to Florida, because I'm out in Los Angeles. We may actually at some point have a Scout HQ West Coast. That's down the road. We'd love to have that. But before that, I'd love to take my kids to Florida. We do Universal Studios and we do Scout HQ. I mean, I don't know which they'd be more excited about. Probably Scout HQ, but I'll leave that to them to decide.
And it's funny that you say that, because both Ambrosia and I were talking about it. We were like, you know what we need to do? We're like, we need to fly out there and plan a trip. We've got to go. So we were like, okay, but we got to bring our families. We got to go hit Disney, and then we got to go hit the HQ. We got to go do this, and we'll make a whole thing out of it for both of our families to go out. So yeah, we definitely understand. We're right there with you.
Well, and just seeing the things that Scout has that I haven't seen at all, really, like their vending machine. I want to do the vending machine. I want like the whole, and even like the comic tags and everything. Just the setup of it. I would also just like would love to see other local comic book stores like, hey guys, look at like what they're doing. This is the whole setup of it all is just amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, you know, we're looking to have it be a showcase. So stores can see what, you know, other ways of selling Scout comics, the things that we're doing. You know, we don't want to be a company that does things the way they've been done for the last 60 years, because the industry is constantly changing. And I think some of these things are going to work really well. Some of these things won't work as well, but we need to try. We need to try, you know, new methods of getting stories into readers' hands. And so, you know, we can use our HQ as a way to showcase and try things out, and hopefully say to the retailers, look at this, look how well it works. You know, we would love to bring this setup to your store as well.
Yeah, I think that is a huge testament to you know what Scout Comics is, because when I first I was introduced with Scout, I kind of went back. I was like, okay, cool. What, these guys are up and coming. They're growing really fast. Let's see who they are. And I found out that you guys publish creator-owned comics, and it's usually things that are self-published prior to, like, I know Adam's done some Kickstarter stuff with his work. You currently finished one just recently, correct? And for things that possibly could eventually come back out in Scout and to everybody else's hands who wasn't able to back the project. And I love that.
Yeah, we're looking to empower creators, let them take, you know, works that they've done one place to a bigger and broader market. As I said, you know, the company is run by creators, and it's, you know, we look to be a consortium of creators that we're supporting each other. And as someone who's been on the Kickstarter platform a lot myself, one of the things that's wonderful about that is the way that you know, Kickstarter creators support each other. And I want to bring that mindset to Scout. So, you know, when Adam's got his next project, hopefully, you know, all the Scout creators are coming behind him to push it. Because, you know, then you're reaching a broader audience, and we're pulling our audiences together. And, you know, that's the way to get the word out. You know, when you don't have a multi-million-dollar marketing machine behind you. You know, maybe we will at some point, but for right now, it's about word of mouth and good creators telling, you know, about, you know, telling their fans about other great creators who they're, you know, that they're working with, that they're associated with, and hopefully the brand continues to grow that way.
Adam, and do you feel the same way, you know, when it comes to things of that nature? Yeah, because I know you've actually kickstarted a few of your different books, and I think this one that recently came out, you're going to be it has come out through Scout. Is that correct?
I don't know if we're gonna do it. Charlie and I will have to message David or something and have a little three-way chat. I don't know yet, but Scout. You know, so I'm just on the creator side, right? I don't have a foot in the Scout front office or anything, but still, I mean, to me, Scout's like the little publisher there could, right? You look at the onset of the pandemic, and the whole industry shuts down, and Scout's the only one starting to make comics, right? And you have two big publishers, and then you have all these, you have, you know, the next three, whatever you want to call it, indie publishers, and they only do things as, you know, they were doing in 1994, right? And no one's getting their comics, but Scout pivots and make sure they come up with a way to get comics to people. And we've seen that time and time again. Look at Comic Takes. Comic Takes is a brilliant idea. I support that fully. With it's just so awesome having the collectible. You know, the card market's not as, or has never been as hot as it is right now, right? You look at Target, and Target had to stop selling Pokemon cards or something, right? Because people are killing each other over Charizard. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
You guys don't even know the truth. I'm seriously. So I used to be I currently am in this field. I'm a merchandiser, right? And I go into the stores, and I purchase, and I put up the stuff up, and what I do is I worked closely with all the collectibles and stuff, right? So I'm putting out all the collectibles and all the figures and things like that, right? But what the place next to it is all the cards and those kinds of collectibles, and they see me bringing out a cart. They're like, "Oh, you got the cards in there? You got any Pokemon?" I'm like, "No, this is just collectibles, guys." Like, and then they even want to start going through all that stuff. It's like, it gets a little crazy sometimes when they see you pulling out big boxes of collectibles, and you're just, there's been a few times where I'm like, Please let me
Security,
Right.
security.
Bodyguard.
first. Let me stock, and then you guys go for it. But let me
Yeah.
take my pictures and make sure my boss knows I did the work. And you know,
But it's just stuff like that. Like you get into the card market, and it's not full on trading cards and stuff, but it's similar enough, you know. And it's making these little changes that are still adjacent to your primary business, but it makes sense to add on. Like
Mhm.
Charlie said earlier, you know, some things probably will falter, while other things are going to be huge. Like, you know, you have title box, you have the subscription box, which is why has no indie publisher ever done that before? You know, it's
Yeah.
stuff
Which
like
is
that.
such an amazing concept and such a great deal in itself.
Mhm.
Um, and
Mhm.
and then not only that, but like the different imprints. I mean, we have Scoot and the Black Caravan, and you know, there's literally something for everybody, which is
Mhm.
amazing to see and something that we don't typically see.
I
Well,
don't
I
know who
think
also came up with like the battle damage box, but that's just another
I,
idea where it's just clear the people that run this company are comic creators. Because what better way to get someone into
Right.
comics? I mean, if you want to read something, why not pay half price or
Mhm.
something for
Mhm.
those
right,
books?
right,
It's just another great idea.
and on the flip side, we don't want to throw those out, right?
Right.
And you can't sell them to collectors. And I think
Mhm.
that's the thing that people need to look at. There's so many different markets. There are the people who are just collectors. There are the people who are the toy collectors. There are the people who are trade readers. There are the people who are single issue collectors. And you know, they all like to get their comics. And there's people who just get comics on Kickstarter. So you know, like these
Mhm.
are all different markets. These are different types of readers. And if you're just selling your comics in one way, you're only reaching one audience.
Yeah.
And you know, and to that, one of the things that also sets Scout apart is that we have our own internal distribution network, right? That's so you know, we're one of the reasons we're able to, you know, you ask why aren't you know, other publishers doing the subscription box. Most publishers outsource their distribution just to Diamond exclusively, right? That's how they've always done it. They get the orders in, they have someone from their printer ship the books directly to Diamond. That's not something that they have to deal with. A big part of the HQ is it's also a distribution center. So like the beautiful the coffee, the showroom floor is great. Then there's the offices. Then there's a gigantic warehouse in the back where
Mhm.
we can store, you know, where we store lots of comics because HQ does a lot of fulfillment. So, you know, we're looking to distribute any way we can to get books to readers. So we have a web store which does a lot of robust sales. We distribute to the direct market through Diamond and to Lunar, but we also do retailer direct where Scout sends things directly to retailers. So we have the infrastructure to try different things. And I think that's, again,
Yeah.
something that sets Scout apart because we're
Yeah.
building it from the ground up and saying, hey, if you're going to build a comic book company that can, you know, reach all these different audiences, you can't
Mhm.
be sort of tied to the old pipeline. You know,
Exactly.
it's an infrastructure, and you want to be part of it. I mean, it's an ecosystem that you want to be part of. You don't want to cut out
Mhm.
the retailers. So everything that we do it with retailers in mind. You want to, you know, they can get the title boxes, they can get the
Mhm.
exclusive covers that we do, and we always offer things to them at a wholesale discount so they can benefit. But you know, they can get them things directly from us. They can get it from Diamond, from Lunar. Again, you don't want to just um, you know, put yourself in a box with doing things just one way.
Yeah, and I think I have to agree with that because you know on my side of things, I deal with audio stuff because I'm a podcaster and I help run a professional podcast network, right? And so the things that we help with growth, we help with distribution, we help with marketing, and we help with revenue, right? Through these channels and what I tell is a new podcaster when they come on, they say, "Hey, man, what can you do to help me grow my audience or grow my show? I'm not where I need to be or not where I thought I would be right here." So it's like, okay, well, where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you putting your work? Where are you putting your show? Are you cross promoting? Are you talking to different audiences that may like your stuff? You know, then you got to think outside the box, very much like what you were saying with like damage battle damage. Like, you know what I do with mine? I read mine, and then you know, I got ideas for like hodgepodging some stuff. What better than to use the damaged books, right? I'm gonna read them or listen, I've probably got 3 of each of the books that I got in the battle damaged anyway, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna read them, maybe give some of the cool ones to my kids that are probably gonna ruin them anyway. But I mean, thinking outside of the box is the way we need. We cannot stick to the same kind of standards that we're used to, and the way we kind of break from that is creating these new ways for people to consume the things that we were putting. Maybe we're still putting out the old standard, like, printed media, and you just got to think of a different way to market it. And I love these ideas.
Well, the thing is that this world is ever changing and you have to be flexible. And I think that's that's so hard for so many companies to realize or to keep in mind, is that flexibility and being okay with these changes, which Scout I feel like has been um they've just been like that train that's like, all right, here we go. And I think that's just amazing to see as like a comic book collector who has been reading comic books for years, and then seeing Scout do something that I've never seen any comic book company do is so cool.
Well, I think, part of that, and it's, to be fair to some other companies, is if you reach a certain size, it's very hard to pivot and change on a dime, right?
Hmm.
If you're too small, you don't have the resources to be able to try new things. So I think we're at the Goldilocks of sizes right now, that we can try new things, we can take advantage of new opportunities. And the company has only been around, about 6 years in its current incarnation as Scout Comics. So we're young enough that we're looking at this with fresh eyes. I think, again, if you've been around for 20 years and you have people that you've hired to do X and Y, if you pivot too quickly, you're killing jobs. And you have expenses that you've sunk costs into doing things a certain way. So again, we're building this from the ground up as we're going. We're able to take advantage of new opportunities, and we also, if a creator has an idea for something, like the By the Horns guys wanted to do these vinyl records, and we're like, great, you want to do that, because Marcus had a band, so if you have something that you want to bring to us, we're going to look into doing it. Joe Schmalke comes up with all kinds of amazing ideas through, for Black Caravan, in terms of being able to market their products. And he was the one who came up with the idea of the legendary artist edition of the books, those 11 by 17 ones that are amazing. So it's like, so if you empower creators to bring you ideas and you put them into action, that makes other creators willing to volunteer some of those thoughts, and then you can grow as a company.
Yeah, and White Ash just dropped their 11 by 17 version of that, right?
Yeah. We came out, like, we were trying to do a bunch of lead up, because like the first art came out basically about 1.5 years ago, and that was before Scout really exploded. I think in terms of social media presence and people knowing who we were. So I was trying to be like, hey, here's some good ways to catch up, to get to know the product before the second art comes back as part of our big November launch of titles. So.
Yeah, and talking about marketing, there was a really cool idea that you guys did, you guys put it in the new the free comic book day White Ash edition, and we're hoping that we can talk about it if the books are going to be coming out on time.
Yeah, so like as you mentioned it in the free comic book day edition, we're running a game in our November comics. Most of those November comics are now going to be December comics, because that's just the way of the industry. But basically, there's a game that's going to be running through the first issue of Thud, Commander Rao, Ranger Stranger, White Ash, and Third Wave 99, where there are going to be some puzzle clues hidden in each of those issues. And if you can put those clues together and come up with the correct solution, we're going to be giving away a metal cover preview of a new book that we're going to be releasing next year called The Game. And so, it's ideas like that. What we're trying to do is do cross promotion between the different Scout titles, and just ways to get eyes from one book to the other. So like that's something that we're doing right now. If anyone has the free comic book issue of White Ash, that Scout put out this year for Free Comic Book Day, there's a page, there's a QR code that you can scan, and it actually takes you right to this page which has all the rules on it. But yeah, so like that's something that we're doing in our November/December titles. And I would say like next week we have Commander Rao is coming out in a lot of stores, as is Thud. Depends on whether your store got things through Lunar or through Diamond, because Diamond's been having they actually had a ransomware attack which took down their entire system, so their distribution schedule is kind of all up in the air right now.
No, that stinks.
So if your store gets Scout books through Lunar, this Wednesday you will get the first 2 clues through Commander Rao and through Thud. If your store does things through Diamond, I don't know. They'll be there at some point. Whether that's this week, next week, or the week after, honestly, we don't know. Diamond's website doesn't have that information up right now, and we're all just hoping they get things together soon. Obviously, it's difficult when you have, like I said, a ransomware attack taking down your system.
Oh, that stinks. Oh man, that's gonna be so fun. I was wondering because that makes my job a little bit difficult now. But that's fun.
Well, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it just comes down to who is looking at what on your office computers. Just
wow, I had no idea about
do that offline.
Or not on company property.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody says Diamond is
that's great to hear.
Delivered by Friday for almost all stores.
Fantastic. Like again, we're really hoping that gets sorted out, because I know it's really tough for them. And Keith is a retailer.
I think it's just tough for everybody right now, right?
And has an amazing store. I'm forgetting off the top of my head, and I'm sorry, Keith, which shop. You can put it in the chat if you want. But
Keith, is that Keith from I Want More Comics?
I might be. But yeah, obviously, at Scout, we want the industry to be as strong as possible. So, it's not that we want Diamond to have these problems. We want people to be aware, that this kind of delay is not actually their fault.
Yeah, I think it's happening all across the country. We have delays in all areas of consumption. I think so.
It's those boats.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. That's a different kind of podcast. That's where I'm going to say right there. We're talking comics, not economics.
It's also really great to see some retailers watching too, because
yes, definitely.
We've been, so much of the Scouts growth has been because of retailers taking chances on us, and that we really appreciate that. And I personally try to always be available if a retailer has any questions. There's some retailer boards on Facebook that I'm very active on, but they can also send me an email anytime, because Scout understands it's an ecosystem. So as we're promoting this headquarters, it's, again, like I said before, it's a way to showcase things that we can try out, and hopefully if they work for us, they'll work for retailers too.
Definitely. Adam, I know you got something coming up very soon, and I want you to talk a little bit about it. I know you can't talk too much about it right now, because
but you can sprinkle it in.
You can just sprinkle us with a little bit of knowledge of what you got going on.
So, I mean, eventually, I will have Keepers of the Cosmos coming out through Scout, and we are doing a preview for that. I'll be in Chicago next month. What is it, 4 weeks from now?
C2E2?
For C2E2, yeah. A bunch of other Scout. I talked to Brian Wickman of Grit fame.
Yeah.
I think he'll be walking around there. Phenomenal book. There's a joke in there that's one of my favorite comic jokes of all time. Bob, Ringo Award-winning Bob France is going to be there, I do believe.
Cool.
Metal Shark Bro, another incredible series.
And a couple of other Scout people I've seen. I can't remember who. Apologies.
Yeah, I believe, and then I believe Ambrosia and I are going to apply for our professional press badges. We will see. We're not promising anything.
But it would be
But
so
we're-
cool to be able to go down and see some of you guys and
Yeah.
do some interviews and talk to you guys at
Yeah.
cons. I was able to go to Denver Fan Expo recently and talk to some of the guys who are working on Junior, and a couple of the other guys, and it was so cool to be
and
able
then Aaron or Austin,
to
Janowski.
Austin, yeah.
Yep.
And so it was
Austin's
so
freaking cool. He's so cool.
Yeah, to be able to have you guys at cons again and have cons to be a thing, and that's just another way of bringing comics to people.
Yeah.
And Adam, you could also talk a little bit about Shit Show.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the thing.
because
So-
it's already there, it's available.
Yeah, it's there. So it's interesting. So C2E2 is going to be my first convention as a pro creator because Shit Show came out peak pandemic.
Best time to release a comic.
It was uncanny. So yeah, it'll be there. All 3 issues of Volume 1. We hope to have, and we just got done talking about supply chain issues, so I don't know if we will have the Keepers preview or not in time. But yeah, we'll be there. Shit Show. It's still in
good.
time. It's pretty timeless. Who would have thunk?
It's so good.
Do you want to give everyone the quick pitch for that?
So
in case
yeah,
people-
so the quick pitch. So I know some creators hate doing X meets Y. So I always tell everyone it's The Boys meets Shameless. As a writer, I find pleasure in torturing the protagonists, which you'll see like across all my work. It's our pseudo. I don't want to say Superman, but our big hero can't save the world. And that has very poor repercussions for both him physically and mentally and stuff. So Shit Show is about his life turning into a shit show and what goes on. It's like a found family forms the circus, and that's what he does now. Instead of saving the world, he does unsultry things for $20. So that is the purpose of Shit Show.
I will say
indeed a
this.
shit show.
In general, if anyone's looking to submit to Scout, we don't, unless the superhero idea is really good, that's something we usually pass on. Superhero and zombies are those like the 2 most saturated markets. So for a book, for us to pick up a book that's in either of those categories, it has to be something special. So as Adam's book is in that superhero genre, and we picked it up, you can see where I'm going. It's pretty special. You should check it out. I also think it's there's a bit of an examination of of depression, of loss, of how characters change, and because of those things that happen to them. So I think like if you look at the human side of the book, I find that something that's really emotionally relatable to a lot of people.
It is super interesting because you go to, speaking of cons, and you go to Break It Into Comics 101 and whatever, and everyone says, make sure to follow the publisher's pitch document or pitch rules or whatever. I'm pretty sure at the time it even said on the Scout website, we're not super interested in superhero books. So I can't, I'm on the flip side. Sure, you should listen to the pitches, rules, and regulations. At the same time, who knows?
Right. You just have a higher degree of difficulty.
Right.
If that's what you're looking to do. But and I think that's also true for most places.
Right.
Marvel, DC, and then Valiant to some extent have done all that. So it's just hard to be those places.
No. Well, so wait, yeah. So for you to be able to take on Adam's work shows that this is completely different and is something special. And I think I'm really excited to read it, especially if it's that connection and relatability that some of those readers could be able to connect with those characters. I think is huge.
Right.
And I think like in this world and society today, I don't know if there is a better time to put this out because there are so many things that people are trying to rebuild and to carry on and move forward from this pandemic that it has affected everyone in so many different ways.
Right. And it's about, superheroes are best when they're human, right? How can we identify with someone who flies and can hear every conversation on Earth and shoot lasers from his eyes? how does one identify with it? And you just, making.
Listen, all I know is if I could hear everybody's conversations, I'd probably laser everybody with my laser eyes. I don't know.
Exactly.
Hey,
you just put the guy through hell like we go through every day,
Right. I want to see that guy just, try to change it. Like, I want to see a whole comic book of like Superman just like dealing with his kids, like changing diapers, and like when mom goes to the grocery store and she comes back, everything's a disaster. That's the book I want to see.
Superman, but just the journalist.
I think Kyle's got some pictures from HQ queued up for us. We were
great.
Somebody sent us some. Andrea Lorenzo Molinari sent us some pictures.
Ooh, and we got to talk to him yesterday.
And we get to see, and some of these are really cool. These look like these are the trades here. From Scout. There's Andrea.
Oh, look at that pose and everything. He's like, yes.
Look at that. This is awesome. It was really cool. Like, of course, we had to have Shepard in there because he sent me the pictures.
These are really cool right here.
The metal covers. I don't know if you guys have seen these in person. I've never seen our metal covers in person, but I've actually seen some. There, when you actually look at a real metal cover in your hand, it is so cool and so beautiful. It's such a cool thing.
Those are also serialized too. They're 1 through 100. Wow. And when we do those, the creators get number 1 and number 100 as their copies. So
when we first talked about some concepts that we could do, and who is it? Nate Johnson talked about like having a Metal Monday, and I was like, yeah, that sounds fabulous. And then I was like, Joey, like Metal Monday, do we talk about like metal bands or like what exactly is metal? Like what are we gonna do? Like I like metal, but and he was like, no, like metal comics. And I was like, what is this? This is amazing.
Yeah. So we got to get Ambrosha some metal comics.
Yeah.
I think just like the idea of it is just like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that recount is so gorgeous. He says he's got some metal. He needs recount. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the recount metal cover. It is one of the ones that I like. I always covet every single time that I see it. I'm like, ooh, I want it.
Well, again, I mean, that's like trying to do things for the collectors, creating the special editions, the things that really pop. I think it's interesting to see, like, the recount is something that's done really well with collectors. There are other books that the trades have done really well, but the single issues haven't done well. So you're hitting all kinds of people. But I think as long as you're making that product available for the people who want it, that's our job, is to find new ways to put things out there. And the metal covers are great. We've had, we put those out directly through Scout, and the retailers can always get those through our retailer newsletter, and get those wholesale and get those early so they can get those to their customers too. But I think that just the whole concept of trying different things for that collector's market, but also making sure that we're putting out, because it helps at the end of the day, it also helps get the creators some extra money. And that's what we're also looking to do, because the shops are doing really well right now, which I'm really happy about, because I think a lot of people are starting to go to comic shops. But ultimately, there's not that high of a profit margin in comics. It's just the reality of the thing. So even the big creators at Marvel are not making that much money. And so it's about finding new ways to generate revenue for the creators so they can afford to make the comics, so they can afford to pay their teams, so people don't have to sell a kidney to be able to make a 3-issue series. So with that, I got a question, and I don't mean to interrupt you here, but how do you guys feel about the whole NFT conversation right now?
Oh,
people are talking about those, and some people are like, is it just a scam? Is it a new way to launder money, or is it an actual way that creators can actually make some money off of their creator owned stuff and not have to give up rights to it?
Well, let's Adam answer that first, because I think every creator feels very differently about this. So
there's the two sides of Twitter that you have to both appease, right? I mean, you have the what I want to say in a public forum, and that I would tweet out, and then there's my own thoughts behind that.
I was
mean,
like,
it's-
Adam, don't feel free. You can tell us
No,
really how
it's,
you feel.
uh,
No one's watching.
there
It's
Yeah,
fine.
you
is-
can
It's
take
fine.
you can put the professional tie back, man, if you need to.
I mean, no, I mean, Todd McFarlane just released his whole NFT platform and all this. I think it is
Yeah.
a legit. The thing with art is it can be in any size, shape, form, and people will pay what you want. If it's an NFT, what is it? Non-fungible token, right?
Non-fungible token, yeah.
Yeah, if you are buying a bunch of numbers and that is somehow tied to a JPEG or something, it's if you make art,
let's tell everybody what it is. Non-fungible token is, and the way I understand it is, you don't own the actual piece of information, right? Or the actual artwork. You own the certificate that is connected to the artwork because it is connected to a blockchain. Is that correct? If I'm understanding,
sure, it's crypto, so it's like all made up, and people just spend a bunch of money at it. But I mean, artists should be able to sell their stuff and do it. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff saying that it saps too much energy from the electric grid, and then you get into the ethics and morals of that type of stuff,
of servers and all that stuff. But I mean, you could talk about that about all these big conglomerate companies that are, like Netflix, that holds all of our fun TV stuff, right?
right.
I mean, why are we? But that's a different discussion. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not probably
from...
going to do it because I don't know how.
Yeah.
But,
Charlie,
I'll say this from I'm gonna try to. I'll separate my own personal feelings from the way Scout approaches things like this. Scout, I think, has a responsibility to look into things like this to see if there's a way to do it. And then if Scout was to try to do something like that, Scout would give the creators the ability to say, would you like your book put out or an image from your book put out this way? Because again, it's a conversation with the creator. So different, because I think if you ask 20 creators, you're going to have to get 20 different viewpoints on it. And I also think creators say 30 and under feel a little bit different than creators say 30 and older. Because I think sometimes creators 30 and older don't really understand it. And they're like, hey, it's just money. It's like, why wouldn't I want this thing that gets me a lot of money? And I think when you're in your 20s, that's the time to be passionate about causes. You have the energy, you have the bandwidth. Sometimes you don't have the other responsibilities. So please take up those causes and run with them. And I think that we have a lot of creators at the company who would be very upset if we tried to do something like that with one of their books. So again, this is something that if the company is obviously, we always look into all different aspects of of ways of creating revenue. But if we were to do something like that, it would be a conversation with the individual creator as to if they wanted to do something, go down that road. Me personally, I will not be doing any NFTs for White Ash. So
no, that makes sense, and
it
just gets a lot.
And listen, there's something that is very difficult to understand in the first place, and it makes it feel like you have to put the puzzle pieces together in order to understand it. I'm just like, okay, I don't think I need to understand it. I mean, at least when it comes to this, because this is one of those things that's like, I understand some creators' perspective, because yes, you want to be able to sell your artwork or your creations, right? But still have the availability to have ownership over them. Who doesn't want that, right? And how amazing if we can monetize that. How cool would that be? But I'm also afraid of the people who would take advantage of those things and turn this amazing thing, just like anybody else. We can all be that person and turn something that is amazing into something horrible, right? And we can't stop those people, or we can't. But like Charlie said, if you are going to advocate for something that is good and positive to come out of this, then that is what we need to do. And I'm right there with you guys. Let's if it's going to be positive, let's think of this in a positive nature instead of, how we can one up the other. I don't know.
No, most definitely.
No, and I think every company, should look at things that way. You know, you have a responsibility to, if you have shareholders or to your partners, to explore opportunities. But at the same time, you know, if you are a company where the books are creator owned, things that you do with them needs to be, it needs to be done as a conversation with the creators. So
yeah, good. I think that's cool. You know, I think we could probably end this conversation here. We can, unless anybody out there has any questions for you guys, let's look at some more pictures. That's right.
Yes, I love the glow in the dark. Like Phantom Star Killer in the glow in the dark one is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna put out a video later on because I have my Phantom Star Killer glow in the dark cover here. I think in that picture it's the second one down from the top. It's such a cool cover, and so I like have my lights on. I have this big bright light put onto it, and then I turned off all my lights, and it's really cool. It's really bright. So I'm gonna put a video out showing that they really work. It's really cool.
Well, and it goes back to like the collector side of things, because I mean we have like people spend extra money to get their glow in the dark Funko Pop figure and for, you know, those specific things. And now yes, I already have that issue, but does it glow in the dark? No. I
Right.
need to have that. So it's that I'm super stoked for too.
Yeah, cool.
I'm just in love with all the covers. I mean, we have
The
metal
holofoils.
covers, the
Hollow foils,
right.
exclusives. These are all some really cool, gorgeous ones here. Super cool. Awesome stuff. I want to know how I can get some of these bookcases you guys got going. These
Nice.
those are really cool.
Looks real slick.
Those features, those
I think those are actually IKEA Billy bookcases. I think they're Billy bookcases from IKEA. Like that's me not knowing anything, just looking at them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to give away corporate secrets or inside information, but it seems like it's a Billy bookcase that they've put some kind of little lip.
That's awesome.
How do you get some books, Scott? I see Scott's asking about how he can get some Scout books. So, you know, you can talk to your local comic book shop. You know, I always tell people to go there first. Encourage their local retailers to order some Scout books if they don't have them on the stands. But you can also go to our website, scoutcomics.com. And you know, we have a very active web store there where you can pretty much get anything. But if you don't see something there that you happen to see in one of these videos, you can, you know, there's the contact information for the store. You can give them a call and you can say, hey, I saw this in one of the videos. Do you guys have any copies of this left? That's what I would suggest.
Also, I think plane tickets are reasonably right now too, so you could jump on a plane and go check out our headquarters as we're all sitting at home, not at headquarters right now. But oh, I meant from the store. Oh, that is a great question, because I've also seen questions of, is this, and I know Joey has as well, is this just a pop-up store, or is this a store where people are going to be able to come in daily to pick up books?
It's open permanent. This is Scout HQ. It's the front. You know, I don't know the hours. It's probably 10 to 5 or something like that. That it'll be open daily, and if you are in the area, you can just walk right in. Otherwise, like I said, you can order from our website or give the store a call if there's something that you saw in any of these videos that you don't see up there. But you can always walk into the store. I mean, it's designed to be a showcase, but also to be an active storefront. You know, we want it to be both of those things.
So, Scott, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, and many people are asking if they can purchase signed books and things of that nature today here while we are live. Unfortunately, we do not have the features to do that, but I have reached out, and we probably will be announcing some really cool stuff very soon. So keep an eye on all social media. We will have some information for you guys very soon on that subject. So thank you guys for asking, though.
Yeah.
It's such a cool. From my understanding, it is a working Scout Comics shop. so you could purchase it, but we only house Scout Comics published works. We will not have any other publishers' works inside the store.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want, you can go to other comic books. You can go to comic book shops if you're looking to get everything. This is our headquarters, and when you walk in, if you want to buy some Scout comics, we are happy to hook you up. If you don't live within driving distance, please go to your LCS, ask them for Scout. They're happy to pull things for you or even order things for you.
Out of curiosity, is having a pull list there, is that going to be a thing, or is that going to be a thing of a Scout pull list?
My guess is they have enough books to be able to hook anyone else who walks into the store. So I don't think you necessarily need a pull list, even for the hottest of books.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you wanted to go to our HQ and say, hey, could you get one of everything for me every month? They'd be happy to do that for you.
For people who aren't at HQ, then you could get a subscription box, which is essentially.
Right.
Yeah. Super cool. I love that. Idea. It's ideas. That's what this is all about, right? This whole entire medium is based around, creating ideas, and that is one of the things that I fell in love with Scout, is because of the outside of the box thinking. And I think that if we can say anything, if Scout was to put any kind of stamp in their history, I think that would be it, right? It would be, and I would use the word innovation, innovative, right? Because they step out of the box, and I love that.
But then we also put all the comics in the box.
And one of the best packaging jobs in the industry.
Sure.
Seriously, not even a joke.
Yes,
not even a joke. Like, I think there's only one other person who could do it, and I think it's Space Cadets, because they pack pretty well.
Right. We have the custom boxes. If anyone got a subscription box this last month, though, I think some of those boxes were not our normal subscription boxes.
Yeah.
We're getting more of those in. Again, it's the paper shortage, it's the cardboard shortage. So, people wanted to get the Scout books out, but it wasn't the normal box that we have. But we do, have some really great. And the people who work at Scout HQ, they really care about comics, and they understand what collectors want. I've heard from James. James, who's a lifelong collector, who buys a copy and bags it and boards it and CGCs everything. And, they'll come to him and they'll be like, is this comic okay? And even he's like, what are you talking about? It's totally fine, because they've held it up to the light and they've found some teeny imperfection. Like they are really anal about the quality of comics, which is great for collectors. And they do such an amazing job getting books out to retailers and to readers.
They do an amazing job over there.
Most definitely.
I do agree. Yeah, and that was one of those things that everybody was, wondering about, is how we were going to get those books back out to everybody, because the paper shortage and all this crazy stuff, right? But Scout found a way. They got them out to everybody. And another thing, they came from a different way. I don't know how they came to everybody, but they usually come through my mail. This time they came through UPS, and they dropped it right at my doorstep. So I don't know if that's like dedication. They're like, oh, UPS isn't going to do it this way. Let's find a way to get these books to everybody. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know if that's what happened. Maybe it was just the way they got to me, but
I was just convinced it was a Scout ferry.
Right.
Because I don't know. They just appear, and I'm like, well, the Scout ferry did it again.
So John, to answer your question, the Scout box has basically most of every issue that we put out each month. Like if there's like 4 different covers of a book, all 4 covers are not going to be in there. It's just going to be one cover. If a series starts, all the issues of that series will definitely be in there. I believe it's 12 books every month that come in there.
12 books bagged and boarded for $33.99. It is $39.99 for one-time purchase. But
if you sign up for monthly, then it's $33.95, which is amazing.
And what's cool about it
Mhm.
is that you if you guys add it up, if you guys add up your bags, your boards, and the books, like let's just say $3.99 books. If you add 12 books up and the board bags and boards, that is well over $50 right there. And you can't get anything under $40 bagged and boarded and shipped to you pristine. Literally, I guarantee you, almost every copy that I've has, they're probably, and I don't want to say anything, but me judging my own, they're probably near mint plus. So, and they do a
Well,
really
it's
good
And there's
job.
because
occasional. I was going to say, there's also occasionally we'll put in an exclusive cover in there, and just for the sub box, or sometimes they get one of the holo covers. There's usually a list of what's in the box on the web
Yes.
store each month. So if you just want to buy it, as a one-off to take a look, you can see what's coming out. that
Yeah,
month.
and that's another thing that's really cool is they let you know what's in the box prior to purchasing it. So purchasing, it's not a mystery box. So
Yeah.
really
no,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a
I've
list
loved it.
on the website every month of what's coming out that month, and we'll also put in like some promo posters. We try to, like, that's another little cards here and there. Sometimes the creators have something that they want to send out to the sub box people, some signed postcards. Just for being loyal to the Scout brand, you get a little bonus here and there.
Super cool.
Also, a great way, what I would suggest is everyone have a pull list at your LCS, and you get the sub box. So one set you just sort of bag and put away, and the other is your reading copy. I know for me personally, when I was in high school, I did that. I had subscriptions through Marvel, and so those things would come in like brown paper wrappers, and they would be half crumpled when they showed up in your mailbox. So those were my reading copies, and then I got my pristine copies from my LCS. So, what I would suggest is everyone who's listening to this webcast, go to your LCS, tell them you want every single title Scout puts out on your pull list, and sign up for the web store box, and you'll just be happier. And I'm sure your significant other will be happier with you. And that's just
especially
the
you
way
could
to
be
do it.
like, but look how much money I saved.
That's right.
See?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an investment in happiness.
And
There you
it's
go.
great. Holidays are coming up. Just be like, I would love to have a Scout subscription box for Christmas. Just send it. You don't have to do anything. Just pay for it and it's just sent my way.
And I'll
It's
say
already wrapped.
We've got a lot of great books coming out over the next couple of months. This month in particular, like the November to December window with Commander Rao, Thud, Ranger Stranger is coming out. And if you guys haven't seen the previews for Ranger Stranger, it's one of the funniest things that Scouts put out. If you like that twisted murder hobo stuff, this is like Mark Trail on acid, like a homicidal Mark Trail. And the art style is amazing. James Hake's Third Wave 99. I mean, his amazing surfer drama that's coming out. A little title called White Ash is coming back with a new arc. So, so there's a lot of really good stuff. And then starting next year, we've got Cult of Icarus, which is looking great. King's Vengeance. So there's just a whole bunch of great things in the pipeline. And Scout,
I'm
is
super
not just one
excited
type of
for.
book.
I'm very, very excited for Distorted and King Jira. Like, I'm very excited.
I'm stoked for all those, especially because after my student was like, I just want a Godzilla book, and now I could be like, Conjura.
Yeah. Not Godzilla, though, for TM reasons.
No.
It's a rampaging monster going through a city. Who loves pizza?
A hungry monster.
Which, I'm right there with you. I'm right there.
I would rampage through a city to get to the good pizza.
The good. Who would, right? Yeah. See what I do with my books. I like to buy my subscription box, and then I turn around and I go and get them digitally, and I read them digitally. Look at that. And that's what I do. So I read my books digitally, and I put them on display in behind me. So
I would just so people know, our books are also on Hoopla, which is the library digital system. So you can check them out. And then, so if there's a title you wanted to check out, you could check it out of the library. You could read it that way. And then you could buy the hard copy of it once you loved it as much as I know you will.
Yeah.
But Adam, just so you know, and so people know, when books are checked out from the library, creators actually get paid out on that. That is,
That's
the
cool.
library system does pay back creators, even the
Interesting.
digital things like
Wow.
Hoopla, or if you go to your public library and they have Saga there, there is money that's going
Yes.
back to the publisher and to the company.
That is
So
so cool. I
That's
didn't know
insane.
that.
I didn't know that either.
There's
way.
so many ways to get Scout books. It's insane.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
great
that's
way
so
for
cool.
creators to, I mean, for
Mhm.
because you always hear people like, I don't have enough money, I can't
Mhm.
check this out. Say, go to the library,
Mhm.
see what comics are there, and when you
Yeah.
have money, buy a copy. But just
Yeah.
checking that book out helps the creator.
Do
I
they
had
have your book in Hoopla, Adam?
I got an email this morning. I think we're working on it.
That's
Yeah, we're
awesome.
working on getting the whole
Yeah, that's pretty
library
cool.
up onto Comics Plus, onto the Scout website,
Sweet.
onto Hoopla, Comixology. So
I
Adam,
love
if you're
that.
not on Comixology yet, you will be. Most of the things have already been
Nice.
uploaded, and we're
Cool.
going through the whole catalog. So again, go to
So
your
cool.
retailer,
Yeah.
buy. Like I'd never want to say go digital over going
Mhm.
print,
Physical.
but different
Yeah.
people have different ways they like things. Or go to
Yeah.
your retailer, buy that comic tag, and get your
Yeah.
digital thing that you can put on
Yeah,
your
and that's
tablet.
why I loved comic tags, because I've always been the guy that goes, and I have a subscription to Comixology, and I have like pull lists on Comixology, and then I also have a pull list of the same books that I'm going to read on Comixology in the shop.
Yeah.
So I was always that guy, and stuff. So I loved the idea of these comic tags, because it was like, gave me, number one, a really cool card and digital comic book, and like the title box, you get a physical form of that too. So it's always been really cool to kind of do that. So I love these ideas.
And Salvatore's in the chat. I mean, who's got Distorted coming out? Probably my guess is it's going to be mid to late January. He's right. The art is beautiful. It's a great book. It's another one you should go and add to your pull list. Tell your LCS that you want one. I want a copy of that. So there's just so many great things coming out through the company, and that's like one of the best things that I get to do as under the auspices of being publisher, is try to find great titles to bring to the company, to add to the fold of creators that we've been able to put out, because we get so many submissions now, which is great, but we have to be more picky. We have to be really, really picky about what we choose, because we want to make sure it's not 3 years before someone can, if we pick up their book before it can get on the stands, because we have so much backlog material. So we have a lot of great things that are coming out, and Distorted is definitely one of those titles.
Well, and that's just what what he was saying was that a piece of his heart is in the art, and I think that we see that in so many of Scout's books, is how much that their heart and their soul are in the writing and in the art, and as a reader that touches you, and it gives you all of the feels, because not only is it touching you, but that it is something that someone has just worked so incredibly hard in, who nobody gets in the comic book field, I feel like, get the recognition that they deserve, and obviously the pay that they deserve, because this is truly an art form.
Right. And I think, Adam, maybe you can speak to this a little bit too, is like, I know personally, like I had done a lot of stuff on Kickstarter before, but there's a whole different feeling when you walk into your local comic book shop and see your title on the shelf, or you do a signing there and people come in and maybe they have other issues of your series and they want you to sign it. Like it's again, you connect with your fans, and I love Kickstarter, but this, especially for me, like when I have people come up with issues of Galarian and White Ash, and they have the whole run, they're like, hey, would you mind signing more than one? I'm like, of course, I'm happy to sign anything you bring.
Yeah.
I'm not jaded yet. I'm not going to charge you $20 for a signature. But it's it's such a wonderful feeling. I mean, Adam, did you get to
Absolutely.
experience a little bit of that
No,
when shit
yeah,
shows coming out?
absolutely. I mean, I just got someone taking me an Instagram the other day because they picked up a shit show #1 like a year after it was released. I'm like, it's insane. It never gets old. Hasn't got old yet. that they want to buy something I wrote. Who would want to buy something I wrote? But
Everyone should want to buy things that you write. Just FYI.
Yes.
I know it's no, but the feeling's great. By the way, if Kickstarter, Charlie is the king of Kickstarter.
And everything Kickstarter. He's the Kickstarter backer. He's the Kickstarter creator. Like he's king of all things like Kickstarter.
I would say it's really, again, this is the thing I'm trying to take to Scout. It's important to be part of that community if you want to do well on that community. So, it's like, if you follow me on Kickstarter, it seems like I'm backing 3 things or 4 things every week. And maybe I am. But I almost know all of those people, right? They're not just like, it's not just some random creator that I'm backing on Kickstarter. It's Kevin Joseph has another book that he's putting out, or I'm just trying to think of like Monster Matador from Stephen Prince that's out right now, or Duplicant from Carla Nappi. Like I have friends who have books, and then these are friends that I met through the Kickstarter community. And like I said, I want to bring a lot of that creator community to Scout, so we're all supporting each other, and we can take the next step forward. But when you buy into that community supports you. Mm-hmm. So, when I drop a project on Kickstarter and it does well, it's because of the community, maybe more than so because of anything that I've done. It's just that I know that community supports me because I give back and support the community.
Yeah. Well, and then going back to the saying of it takes a village to raise a child, and having this, I don't know, Scout's like our little child of like, it truly does take this community and this little village to, it's this,
nurture it.
yes. But everyone wants it to grow and to be successful, and it takes, and you just see that within everyone who I've ever spoke to through Scout, of that kindness and that community, and the love is all there, which is amazing to see.
Yeah, I think it's passion projects. That's why, right? They're all passion projects, and I think it definitely shows. Like Salvatore, he's got Distorted come out, and I received an email from him a little while back, and the way he speaks about it, and Gabrielle, how he speaks about it as well, is like amazing stuff. And I haven't even read the book yet, and I'm just like, I'm already all in for it, and it's such a cool thing to when you talk to creators that way. And that's how I met Adam, and it's how I met Charlie. I first I started doing this thing with in a podcast. And I was just doing it for fun, just to have fun. And look what we're doing now today. We're creating, we're talking to some amazing creators and putting out. Now we're a part of this thing where we help you guys, put this in front of eyes where they may have not been before. And it's definitely such a fun thing to kind of be a part of, even on this small little scale that me and Ambrosia get to do.
That's also, when creators ask what a publisher can do for you, you're buying into that publisher's community, their audience, and hopefully they're upping your, like I always want to make sure that, when I talk about Commander Rao coming out, and I was remiss in, like it's Fellhound's book, Commander Rao. When I'm tweeting things out, I always CC the creator, tag the creators, because we want to promote the creators as much as we want to promote the books, because you're building a community there, and going to that communal feel. We do look into, it's not 100% just your book. We want projects that fit Scout, but also creators who fit the ethos that we're trying to build. If you're too much, we just want good people. I'll just say that. You want to work with good people. Life is too short to work with people who are going to be difficult, who are just in it for themselves. Because it's too hard. If that's who you are, we just want people who are team players, because that's how I try to be with creators. I try to be open. I try to have a good line of communication. I'm sure not everyone loves me, but and try to shoot at least like 80% that that people enjoy speaking with me. You do your best, but I think as long as the creators are also doing their best, and together we're going to do the best to put the books out and see what we can do with them.
Awesome. Charlie, can you please let everybody know where they can follow you and when we got some amazing stuff coming out from you?
Yeah.
So I'm at Charles Stickney on Twitter. If I wanted at Charlie Stickney, I would have had to sell the kidney to get it back from someone. I go by Charlie. I'm at Charles Stickney on Twitter. People can always get in contact with me there. I think it's probably going to be December 1st. The first issue of White Ash is coming out for this next arc. And if you follow me on Twitter, there may be a new Kickstarter project dropping pretty soon as well for a new series.
Cool. As one of my sons is knocking on my door, Adam, will you please let everybody know where they can find you and when the next thing is coming out from you?
At Adam Barnhardt on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know when the next thing is. Like I said, we will have a Keepers preview sometime that you'll be able to get online sometime. I don't know when dates and stuff. But yeah, I'm working on another exciting project. We'll unveil that sometime. I don't know. I'm sure Charlie will eventually get an email about it, as will some other Scout people. But it's probably my favorite thing I've ever worked on in comics. Like you guys said, if you can make a comic book and market it and do all this stuff by yourself, I applaud you. But it is most certainly a team effort, and every single person on this new project is putting 110% in. And I think it's very, very noticeable. So I'm excited to talk about it and hopefully get on with Scout or bring it to the masses someday.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys are doing amazing, and keep up all of the good work, because we just get to promote and show off all of your stuff. You guys are the ones who are truly like doing all the hard work and putting your heart and soul into it. So
writing comics is easy. The artists do all the work.
Yes. Yeah, like there would be no White Ash without Connor Hughes and Finn Cram. Like that book is so much about what they do.
Mm-hmm. So cool. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate you for hanging out, kicking it with me and Ambrosia. Ambrosia,
hi.
Let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ambrosia_Linda, and then as well on TikTok at Comics and Cupcakes. Also all of the behind the scenes stuff on Scout Comics.
Awesome. Did you forget there for a second?
Yes. I was like, I'm here at my house. That's where you find me.
Awesome. And you can find me all over the internet. Just do a tippy tap, type my name in, and I'll probably pop up somewhere. We're also doing some really cool stuff all over the place for Scout Comics. Make sure you go and follow Scout on TikTok, because Ambrosia is the boss there, and I just listen to her. She does some amazing stuff. So
She really does.
So we push out all kinds of cool stuff, and it's a lot of fun, just hanging out and creating content for you guys. We appreciate
talking about comic books from these amazing people.
Right, it's so fun. Hang out with us on social media, Scout Comics, wherever you guys can find us, and hopefully we can do this kind of stuff more often. What do you guys think? You guys like this?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
always happy to come on anytime you guys want.
Yes, thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your day.
And I do want to say I do appreciate you, Kyle, for producing this. Kyle from The Experience, he's done an amazing job.
The Experience is an amazing network.
Yes,
if you're not following The Experience, please follow The Experience. It's the best way to know what's happening in comics and to get to know some really amazing LCSs around the country, because they're on it. And I love watching that network.
Yeah, they're amazing. Maybe we're going to be doing something. I'm going to have a little meeting with them later on. We're going to talk about some stuff so we can get some stuff on The Experience. What do you guys think?
Yes, cool? I'm in.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Kyle. And thank you, The Experience, for housing us for 2 days. Thank you, guys. If you guys are in the neighborhood, please go and check out the HQ and have some coffee.
Yeah. And also, I've heard they have Dr. Pepper there. So
Dr. Pepper. Yes. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.